I hate to be the guy that says this, but Batgirl has been treated really poorly. She's been treated poorly in the comics, she's been treated terribly in television, and need I say more about how she got treated in the movies? There is a finished Batgirl movie, but Warner Brothers won't release it because they want a f***ing tax break. She faced off against the Joker, Two-Face, and Harley Quinn, but so far she has yet to win a fight against the producers at Warner Brothers and the editors at DC Comics. In this video, I'm gonna be like Tony Soprano in therapy, but instead of bitching about my mom, I'm gonna bitch about how Batgirl just cannot catch a break. But before we move on, please be sure to give a like and subscribe to Favorite Comics. You do not want to miss out on our awesome content. Now, I'll be honest, I don't even know where to start because there was a lot of mishaps with the character. So I guess I'll start with Barbara Gordon in the comics. For a while, Batgirl was treated really well. She was a smart, competent, and useful member of the Bat family. There was some nice interpersonal drama with her and her dad. It was a lot like a Spider-Man and Aunt May's situation where she had to lie to her dad about her Batgirl identity to protect her father from worrying about her. And there was some nice, completely normal coming-of-age romance between her and Dick Grayson. Then the Killing Joke storyline came along. The Joker shot Barbara and paralyzed her from the waist down, leaving her paralyzed for the rest of her life. Now, in my opinion, her character was still treated well at this point in time. To see her go through rehabilitation and help the Bat family characters out as Oracle with her computer hacking skills was a great direction to take with the character. Now, I can't speak for every single DC Comics fan, but I bet those with disabilities felt seen and heard when a mainstream DC Comics character had to live with a disability. When Barbara became paralyzed, it made comics feel very real to me. It felt like there was stakes for the first time in forever. Comic creatives were finally willing to show the massive ramifications of violence that come along with the vigilante lifestyle. This moment from The Killing Joke made comics feel real and grounded in ways that just have not been done before. For the longest time, Barbara was one of my favorite characters as she overcame some wicked inner demons. I'm sure it was really tough adjusting to life after losing the use of her legs. I'm kinda going on a tangent here. I know I ripped on the Titan show before, but I thought what they did with the Batgirl character was just amazing. Barbara Gordon was portrayed by Savannah Welch. Unfortunately, in 2016, Savannah had her leg amputated following an accident. She drew from her own experiences to portray Barbara Gordon authentically, ensuring that the character's disability was treated with respect and accuracy, which is just fantastic. I love DC Comics because there's so much representation for people from all walks of life. Billy Batson represents foster care children. The second Green Arrow, Connor Hawke, represents those from the asexual community. Roy Harper does a solid job representing those with addiction. And Barbara Gordon does an amazing job making those with paralysis feel seen and heard. And then the editors at DC Comics made the dumbest decision I've ever seen in my entire life. In 2011, during the New 52 reboot, Barbara Gordon regained the use of her legs once again. After she was paralyzed from the waist down, she underwent an experimental surgery and physical rehabilitation that restored her ability to walk. And just like that, she ditched her Oracle identity and became Batgirl once again. And just like that, she went from being one of the most grounded DC Comics characters to just another over-the-top, ridiculous superhero that experiences no real-life consequences for her actions. While a lot of people were excited to see her back in action, others felt like it was a step back for representation. It's almost like DC Comics completely forgot about her history as Oracle, a hero with a disability and a top-tier information broker, computer hacker, and strategist. I don't know about you, but I really did not like this move. Because, let's be honest, real life just does not work like that. Sure, there may have been some cases where people went through a miraculous rehabilitation, but the ramifications from serious injuries like Barbara Gordon's have to be dealt with for the rest of that person's life. DC's decision to have Oracle become Batgirl is like Marvel deciding to give Daredevil his sight back. Listen, DC, if you're listening, just please get back to your old ways when it comes to representation. Don't just magically get rid of a character's issues. Barbara Gordon was a badass as Oracle. Not letting her disability get in the way of her fighting the good fight and her happiness will always inspire me. But did they stop when it came to screwing up her character? Nope, they just kept on going. Now, like I mentioned before, she had a totally normal romantic relationship with Dick Grayson. They're both around the same age, they both got training from Batman, they're both gymnasts, and they love fighting crime. So their relationship felt right in a lot of ways. Then, in the Three Jokers storyline, there was some interesting developments with her character. And by interesting, I mean she hooked up with Jason Todd. Which to me is just bonkers. I mean, don't get me wrong, people are free to do whatever they want, but this direction with her character just did not make any sense. Given her history with Dick Grayson and the fact that Jason killed a lot of people, I just don't get why she hooked up with Jason. He even killed one of the three Jokers in that same storyline. Him killing a Joker and her hooking up with him is just bonkers. I think it would have been fine if she hooked up with someone else from the Titans, but her hooking up with Jason is the equivalent of her hooking up with her ex's younger brother. Look, maybe I shouldn't judge here, but it just sounds like something out of a Jersey Shore episode. Now, as far as I know, she did not have a romantic relationship with Bruce in the comics, but she did have a relationship with him in other continuities. Bruce hooked up with her in the Killing Joke animated movie and in the Batman the Animated Series continuity, which is just wrong in so many ways. Bruce is like a father figure to Barbara, so for him to have a relationship with her is just so weird. The fact that there was a love triangle between him, his adopted son, and daughter figure is borderline disturbing. And to make things even weirder, Bruce got her pregnant. Yeah, you heard that right. In the spin-off comics for the Batman the Animated Series, it's heavily implied that Bruce got her pregnant. And the fact that this happened in a children's cartoon made everything just so much more bizarre. Them getting together is like Joel and Ellie from The Last of Us hooking up. It really sucks that the creators of Batman the Animated Series took this direction with their character. Batman and Batgirl were fantastic, and then all of a sudden Batman became less like Batman and more like Woody Allen. The funny thing is, I don't remember other DC heroines getting this treatment. Wonder Woman, Donna Troy, and Supergirl certainly did not have any weird relationships with their father figures or their ex's foster brother. So DC, if you're listening, just please drop the nonsense with Barbara's love life. If she ends up having a romance with Tim Drake or Damian Wayne, I think a lot of fans will not be too happy about that. Another point that I want to make is that she has not been treated well outside of comics. Now, like I mentioned before, she was treated well in the Batman the Animated Series cartoon until she got into that weird and inappropriate relationship with Bruce. She made a few appearances as a supporting character in the DC Animated Universe movies, Young Justice, and in the Harley Quinn show, but she didn't get any good character development. She just made an appearance to show off her skills, and that's about it. In fairness, she got worse treatment in George Clooney's Batman and Robin movie. It's pretty nuts how she had no training whatsoever, and she could fight and operate a grapple gun pretty much perfectly. I think what Barbara Gordon needs is a really solid story arc where she gets amazing character development. Batman gets amazing character development every other day. In Batman Venom, he overcame addiction. In the aftermath of Batman Nightfall, where Bane broke his back, Batman went through intense rehabilitation and training to fight crime once again. And in The Dark Knight Returns, Batman still found a way to fight crime even though he was an elderly man. There should be no excuse with Batgirl. Maybe she'll never be as much of a feminist icon as Wonder Woman, but she deserves an awesome storyline that inspires young girls and pretty much any woman on any walk of life. Maybe a Batgirl movie wouldn't have brought in as much money as a Barbie movie, but a Batgirl movie has the potential to inspire a lot of people. I don't know what it is, but DC always had better feminist characters and storylines than Marvel. Captain Marvel fell flat, nobody watched Ms. Marvel, Black Widow was forgettable, and She-Hulk was just a flat-out disaster. Even though the DCEU dissolved, it's amazing that DC made an awesome femme fatale movie, and Marvel has been pushing out mediocre projects with female leads. Except for Jessica Jones. I think we can all agree Jessica Jones is awesome. Hell, even the upcoming Supergirl movie starring Millie Alcock will probably be more artistically and commercially successful than any of Marvel's femme fatale projects. A Batgirl movie or TV show would be a certified banger. In my opinion, I think Batgirl should get Batman Nightfall treatment, as in she should go through gruesome rehabilitation to walk once again. In Batman Nightfall, Batman got his back broken by Bane, and for a while he rocked an armored suit and went through intense rehabilitation. He even had to get trained by Lady Shiva to learn how to fight once again. In the Daredevil Man Without Fear story arc, Matt got hit by a truck for a second time, and the entire 5-issue story arc had him go through learning how to walk once again. I think what the DC Comics writers should do is give her similar treatment to Felicity in Arrow. In the show, Felicity got paralyzed from the waist down, but developed technology to bypass her spinal cord injury. The idea is that she surgically installed a device below her spinal cord injury so that her brain could send signals to the device and walk once again. Season 4 sucked, but I liked how there's at least a couple of episodes where she had to go through some intense rehabilitation. Anyways, the point is, DC, if you're gonna give Batgirl the ability to walk once again, make sure she goes through some gruesome rehabilitation. Make sure she works hard to gain the ability to walk and fight once again. Anything that makes her rehabilitation feel grounded and real will make Batgirl stories that much better. Come to think of it, it's not just the physical rehabilitation that needs to be handled better, but the handling of Barbara's mental health recovery. Listen, I get that DC Comics can be pretty fantastical at times, but if some deranged lunatic shoots you in the spine and psychologically tortures your dad, the psychological trauma and PTSD from that would be monumental. It was almost like Barbara forgot what happened to her in the Killing Joke in the New 52. Her characterization was kinda off in the New 52 and Rebirth continuity if you think about it. After going through an experience like that, she should be pretty hardcore. Maybe not as hardcore as Jason Todd, but still pretty jaded nonetheless. I will say this though, it's very admirable that Barbara doesn't take her hurt and pain out on others like Jason does. Like or hate Barbara Gordon, she doesn't use her trauma as a justification to do terrible things to people. Anyways, what else did I want to say? Oh yeah, she never got as many great experiences as her male counterparts in the Bat family. Dick, Tim, and Damian all got to work alongside the Titans and got to build their leadership and communication skills. To my knowledge, Barbara barely got to work with the Titans. Hell, even Jason got to work with the Outlaws. I can barely remember her working alongside a team of superheroes. There was a couple of times where she teamed up with Supergirl to have that world's finest type of moment, but aside from that, she barely got to work with any team. And that just kinda sucks for Barbara. She did get to work with that Birds of Prey team on that TV show a while ago, but I think everyone wants to forget about that. So DC, if you're listening, there's a lot of work that needs to be done with the Batgirl character. Stop using her as a character that randomly hooks up with other Bat family characters. Stop bridging her, as in stop harming the Batgirl character to advance a male character storyline. Give her opportunities to work alongside teams like the Titans, and make her mental health and physical recovery feel real and grounded. But what do you think? Do you think that the Batgirl character has been handled well? What do you think the writers at DC Comics should do with the character? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. As always, thanks a million for watching. Please be sure to give a like and subscribe to Reverb Comics so that you do not miss out on our awesome content. Stay groovy.